What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, family? It's Juneteenth, so we got a lot to celebrate today. I hope you're ready for a great show. We got more right when we come back for Speaker Success in the Morning. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, successors? Y'all, right now we are 32 minutes after the hour. This is Speaker Success in the Morning, and this is your favorite morning show, and we're going live Monday through Friday every single morning from 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard. All right, got a little bit of a late start today. Y'all, when I tell you I'm sitting there looking at my baby, and my baby looking at me in the bed, and he looking at me, it's 5 o'clock, and I'm looking back at him, and I'm like, okay, let me just get this bottle to him, and then he gonna relax. Then he's just looking at me, and I'm getting ready to walk out the room, and he's just looking at me, and I'm like, bro, go back to sleep. What is wrong with you? Go back to sleep. And he didn't. He just sat there and just stared at me. And I went left, he went left. I went right, he went right. So ultimately, we were doing a little stare off. So that's where I was at 6 o'clock this morning. So hey, that's part of life. And just like I've always shared, and like producer Britt has always talked about on the platform here, we want this to be a place of transparency, right? We're going to shoot you straight. We're going to keep it real. We're always going to be honest. And that's just what we're about here at Speaker Success in the Morning. So family, I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to belabor any points. So we're going to go ahead and get straight from the source. You know what I'm talking about? And with it being Juneteenth, I just felt that it would be fitting for us today to come from the book of John. And I want to talk a little bit about freedom, right? A little bit about freedom. So in the text here, verse 36. So this is John chapter 8, verse 36. And the text reads, "So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." My God in heaven. Close the book. Okay, we're done already. Because one thing that we need to know and we want to understand about freedom, right? Let's get the definition of freedom. What does freedom really mean? And what freedom means, according to the dictionary, is the power or the right to act, to speak, or to think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Another definition of freedom says the state of not being imprisoned or enslaved. I'm liking this. Then, right now, what we're looking at is understanding that you being free, right? And in this text is in the sense of being free from sin, being free from shame, being free from the weight of the world, and knowing that earth is not your home. So ultimately, it allows you to operate and move differently in comparison to everybody else. Let me go up a few scriptures because I want to give a little bit more context, just so nobody's like, John, what? So we're gonna go up to verse 31, right? And it says, "To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, 'If you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.'" This is in verse 31. So we got it in verse 31 and in verse 36, where it's talking about us being free. So let's keep on going. "They answered him, 'We are Abraham's descendants and have never been slaves of anyone. How can you say that we shall be free?'" Jesus' back door is right here, verse 38. Jesus replies, verse 34, Jesus replies, "Very truly I tell you, everyone who sins is a slave to sin," right? So they're saying, how are we slaves? We've never been enslaved to anybody. Then he's saying, no. I'm not talking about you being a physical slave. I'm talking about you being a slave to sin. Jesus is cold, man. In verse 35, "Now a slave has no permanent place in the family, but a son belongs to it forever." One more time. Now, a slave has no permanent place in family, but a son belongs to it forever. Verse 36, Jesus says, so if the son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I don't know about you today. I don't know where you are in your life. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you faced as of late, as of recently. But y'all, this text here says it all. Being free from sin, right? Being free from sin, being free from shame, being free from pain. Jesus is letting us know right here in the text. I'm going to go back up to verse 31. Because it says, if you hold my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So ultimately, there's a few things that's happening here, right? So let's talk about today's time, right? If I go into the DMV and there's some information that I don't know that I need in order to get what I need from the DMV, well, let's make it real. So I went to the DMV about 2 weeks ago. Social security office, trying to get my son's social security card. And I'm like, hello, do I need an appointment? And they're like, yeah, you're going to need to get an appointment, sir. And I said, okay. Well, what do I need to do to get an appointment? So the gentleman set me up for an appointment. I came back 2 weeks later, and I came in with confidence because I knew that I knew the information that I needed to get ultimately the end result that I desired. Hello, somebody. So here's the deal. When I went in the second time, I felt relieved. I felt free because I knew I had the paperwork and I knew I had an appointment. So I'm like, I'm good. Oh, cool. I'm where I'm supposed to be. But imagine not knowing that on the front end. These individuals right here, they're answering Jesus, but we're descendants of Abraham. We've never been slaves to anyone. How can you say that we shall be set free? What are we slaves to? Jesus is saying, baby, you don't even understand right here. Okay, very truly I tell you, Jesus replies, everyone who sins is a slave to sin. The thing that we have to know and must understand at 2025, June 19th, 2025, we all fall short of the glory of God. That means we sin and we don't even know it on a daily basis. So therefore, everyone, not you, not just me, not my mom, not my dad, no. All of us are slaves to sin. So therefore, we all have to pay something for the cost and the weight of that sin. That's why in verse 36, Jesus says, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. So how's the Son going to set us free? That's by way of Jesus dying on the cross for us. Because at the end of the day, it would have to be a trade. If not, then what we actually deserve is death. Because sin ultimately is separation apart from God. And if we're separated from God, then we don't get the benefit. If we're separated from the family, we don't get the benefits of being in the family. But the only way that we can join back into the family or join the family is by accepting that Jesus is Lord, confessing with our mouth that he came from up above, from heaven, down to earth. He lived a perfect life, and then he died for you, me, and everybody else. That's how we get indoctrinated into the family, and that's how we get to get those benefits. Because at the end of the day, family, that's the only way you can be free. So today, the challenge is identify what has been holding you hostage mentally, right? Whatever that sin struggle might be, right? Maybe returning to that relationship that you know was no good. Maybe it's overeating. Maybe it's, I don't know, lusting. Maybe it's stealing. I was bad on that one. I was bad on that one, on stealing, man. And then after you identify this thing, just take a moment, just pause and say, Jesus, I don't want this to enslave me anymore. I don't want this to hold me hostage. I want you to be the ruler of my life. Take me and have your way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Family, that's been straight from the source this morning. I hope that encourages you. I hope that blesses you. And we're going to be right back with more Speaker Success. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button just so YouTube knows that you're liking the content, you're enjoying what we're putting out. And we will be right back after this quick commercial break with more Speak Your Success in the Morning. Looking for timeless pieces that make a statement? Discover the Jewelry Department, where elegance meets craftsmanship. Owned by Miguel Contreras and located at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas, the Jewelry Department is your destination for stunning, one-of-a-kind pieces designed to elevate your style. From classic designs to modern trends, we offer a curated selection that reflects sophistication and artistry. Because we believe your jewelry should be just as unique as you are. Visit us today at the Jewelry Department, where every piece tells a story. And let us help you find the perfect piece that speaks to yours. The Jewelry Department, elevating your look with elegance and style. Find us at 13505 Mumford Place, Suite 103 in Dallas. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy, Miguel Contreras. With the jewelry department, man, they do a great job marketing, and man, he definitely gets you what you need, right? He gets you what you need. So now I want to talk, y'all. Today is Juneteenth. We're in Texas. So what do we need to know about Juneteenth? What do we need to know? And I'm gonna just talk through it, just so that we're all on the same page, okay? Because some people say, yay, today we're out of school, we're off of work, and y'all, yesterday, me and my wife, or my wife and me, found out that our son was not in school today. We said, oh man, that's crazy. Okay, that's crazy. If only we knew that just a little bit sooner. Okay, so what do we need? What do we need to know about Juneteenth? So the actual breakdown of Juneteenth and why it's celebrated is for a few reasons, right? The first reason, it's June 19th. This was actually Emancipation Day, right? It's a holiday commemorating the end of slavery. Shout out to that. But the caveat is the Emancipation Proclamation was issued by President Abraham Lincoln, right? And this was actually in January 1st. This was January 1st, 1863. So if President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation January 1st, 1863, then why did it take 2.5 more years before we made it down to Texas to where the announcement was read by the Union soldiers by Major General Gordon Granger in Galveston on June 19th, 1865? That's interesting. 2 more years later, right? 2 whole more years later. That's wild. That's wild, y'all. That's wild. So what I want to talk about here today is just understanding that Juneteenth is something that we celebrate because it's about freedom, right? It's about freedom, and it gives us the opportunity, just like I talked about in the scripture today. When you know you're free, it causes you to operate differently, right? Like think about this. Think about this. Have you ever been going out somewhere? Right? This is gonna be a great example. Have you ever been going out somewhere and you got dressed up all nice, and your people told you, hey, put on your best, and you got on your nice smelling cologne, ladies, you got on your nice smelling perfume. But the thing is, you and your friends take separate cars, right? So it's you and your date in one car, your friend and their date in the other car. And then you realize as you're en route to this location, like, oh man, I left my wallet at home. Oh man, I should have brought that cash. Oh man, I should have asked Andrew, could he spot me 20? Could he spot me 100 for the night? And then you're in a spot to where you're now pulling up to where it's time for you to pay for the valet parking. It's time. And they're like, you're like, how much is it? You're like, oh, it's 15. You're like, okay, cool. And how tight you are until you realize that once you get to the parking lot attendant, that your friend Andrew came through in the clutch. Oh, Andy put down enough money for you and him to get in. So now everybody is good. And think about the level of freedom that allots you to be able to now not worry about the night and be able to enjoy all of the benefit of all of the evening, because now money is not an issue. Now you're covered. And y'all, the fact of the matter is, some people might get mad and get frustrated that the announcement was delayed from getting to us about the information about Juneteenth. And I would say that you're rightfully justified in your frustration. However, what can we now do about that information today in 2025? We can't hop in a time machine with Marty McFly and Back to the Future and go do anything and change that. But we can just make today and the future days our best days possible by celebrating accordingly. Right? So now people might say, well, John, what are some festivities, and what are some things we can even do to celebrate Juneteenth accordingly? Be amongst your community. Right? Some of the festivals can easily include sharing meals together, breaking bread together, having the opportunity to be able to, don new clothing, which was representative of new freedoms. People singing and praying. For years, these were celebrations that were often highly attended, and people got excited about these things until economic factors shifted some things, and cultural reasons and racism ultimately reduced the education about the knowledge of this particular holiday here. So, as of late, then around the 60s, then the civil rights movement, they really helped began a resurgence of the holiday, when ultimately student demonstrators wore Juneteenth buttons. Right. Shout out to the student leaders, man. Students now are more vocal, I think, than ever before. I don't remember students being as bold as some of these students are now. But y'all, man, shout out to them. As you might see them, they might be rocking the red and the black and the green, representing the African diaspora. So that's super dope, right? That's super dope. But y'all, just focus on. You might say, how can we celebrate Juneteenth? Focus on being free. Focus on hanging out with people that you love. Focus on what can not only make my home better, my community better, but what can make the community better at large. Like, when we begin to have those type conversations and we begin to do those type of things, this is something truly worth celebrating. And this is what is worth being excited about and excited for. So if you might say, John, well, I don't know what I should do for Juneteenth, I would just ask you to just do like I did. Do a little research on the day. Okay? Have a conversation with a person about what this means for you, what this means for them. Ask them, what does this mean for you? What do you do for Juneteenth typically? A lot of people might say nothing. So we need to just see and create a conversation around this holiday, because it's more than just a day off. It's more than, oh, I just get to relax today. It's more than that. It's bigger than that. So we can't just view that, oh, yeah, let's go just throw some barbecue on the grill. That's great. But let's also have some other conversations that's going to move us forward. Economic conversations, right? Empowerment. These are things that we cannot skip over. Okay? But y'all, be free today. Be free. Being an adult, being a man, being a woman, being a black man or being a black woman in America can be exhausting. can be exhausting. So what I need you to do, I want you to be able to celebrate and be free. I remember Jamie Foxx, when him and David Allen Greer and a few other castmates were on a Netflix show, and they had an episode about what you can't say and things you can't do on Juneteenth. And David Allen Greer was like, You said picnic. You can't say picnic on Juneteenth. And then they went down this whole slew of just saying all these different things. And it was funny, but at the same time, it also created a level of awareness, which I can appreciate, because I said, oh, wow, I see what they're doing. They're utilizing awareness to bring Juneteenth to the conversation, to where now we can go back and do our own research. And then now we can talk about it. We can discuss it. We can see what this really means. So family, happy Juneteenth, okay? And celebrate it as such, because this is a day that was not promised, was not given, but you're here. This is a day that God saw fit and said, you know what? I want to do you one better. And I want to make sure you understand the opportunity that you have today. So family, any day on this side of the dirt, this is a good day, right? Any day that God woke me, you, us up, that's a good day. So we need to treat it as such. So family, don't let today be any different. Like I said before, yeah, go out, get your barbecue, do your thing, cook for your friends, be where you need to be. But what I want you to really do is have conversations. Have conversations to where you share something with somebody that you learned. If it be about Juneteenth or something else, but we have to begin and continue. Reach one, teach one. Reach one, teach one. If not, holidays like this will disappear. Traditions like getting together and cooking and having meals and breaking bread and doing that will falter by the wayside as well. So we can't afford to skip over this. All right, family. Once again, this is Jonathan Jones, and this is Speaker Success in the Morning. Like I said, we're live every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard. And we're going to be live right back here with you tomorrow for Friday's episode. And y'all know we like to have a little fun on Friday. Talk about some things that's going on in the DFW, as well as, have some fun. Have some fun. And speaking of having fun, I wanted to put this out there. So I'm calling and challenging all business owners out there. If you are in the DFW area, okay, if you're in the DFW area and maybe you have an event space, maybe you have a store, maybe you have a location, and you're like, you know what? We haven't been getting the marketing that we want to get. John, producer Britt, we want y'all to come out here. We want y'all to do a live show. We want to collaborate. We want to do, group economics? Yeah. If y'all are watching this show or you heard this and you're like, you know what? I want to do that. I want them to come. Y'all send me a DM to @JonathanJonesSpeaks and let's get the conversation going. We already have a few partners we've reached out to and we've talked to. And y'all, we not saying pay us. We're just trying to bring the community together. We're trying to increase awareness. We're trying to have fun. We're trying to elevate as we climb, as we all lift. Because think, if we host a live show at your location, this is going to create some traction for you as well as for us. But ultimately, it's a win for the community because now your people are getting educated. Now we're connecting with your people. Now our people are going to connect with y'all. And you got a higher level of awareness of the brand now, all because you said, let's collaborate and let's move forward. All right. So shoot me a DM, boom, @JonathanJonesSpeaks. Because y'all, let's get this thing going. All right, let's get this thing going. Me and producer Britt were talking about it, and it's time, y'all. It's time to get out the couch. It's time to get out the office, and it's time to go talk to the people, shake the hands, kiss the babies, move forward, and win together. So family, remember, if you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it to make sure you don't miss any episodes every time that we go live. All right. And we're going all in on TikTok. So be sure, if you ain't follow us on TikTok, follow us on TikTok @Speaker Success in the AM. Okay. Speaker Success in the AM. But family, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all for rocking. Thank you for your faithfulness. It's not taken for granted. We love you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have an amazing Juneteenth. Speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other